Hey guys, all right, my middle schoolers, this is going to be our layout for our color wheel, okay? And what you notice here, we have dark dots and we have some light dots. And the dark dots are going to tell us where to draw our first lines. And then the second lines that we'll draw are going to be our light lines, or light dots, okay? All the lines should be light as you're drawing them. According to what we do in art, we always use light lines to start out a layout. And that way, if we make a mistake, we could erase those lines. All right, now some of these dots might not exactly line up, but we want to get pretty close, okay? So this one doesn't exactly line up, but we're gonna adjust it just like that. All right, once we like the lines that we have, we could darken them, okay? All right, but again, these are just general guidelines, go from here to there, okay? Right through here. All right, and now here we're gonna have our sections for our primary and secondary colors, but now we're gonna divide them further into tertiary. So here I have my light lines, or my light circles. And again, we're gonna get a general idea of where these colors are going to be. That dot's a little bit off, so I'm going to move it down like that. The layout that you're going to get is going to be a little bit more precise. Okay, but now that I like the lines that I have, I'm just going to darken these lines. All right, some of them that are a little on the lighter side, I'm going to darken them. Okay. Remember that your grading rubric is right here with your quality, light lines, attention to detail. We want to make sure that we get all the details correct from what's been shown to you and explained. And if you don't understand, that you ask questions, okay? Follow directions, and I asked when I didn't understand, okay? Everyone should be participating fully, engaged in class, and using materials appropriately. Responsibility and self-regulation are essential, so we're going to follow the CHAMPS rules, conversating when appropriate, asking for help appropriately, and participating in the activity, not moving around the classroom all the time, just getting the things that you need to get, participating appropriately so that we can be successful. All right, if you do all those things, you should get 20% or 20 over 20, which is 100%. And I'll put that in right there. Okay. All right, so now let's decide on where we want our colors to be. Okay. Now I always start with red. So I think today I'll start with red here. Okay. So now where red is, what's next to it needs to be the tertiary colors. So then I'm going to start labeling red, orange. And then that means that orange is going to be here. And then next to that will be yellow, orange, because I know that red and yellow make orange. That's what we learned in previous lessons. And then I'm going to go put my yellow there. Now, this looks like it's right already because this needs to form like a triangle after we're done, okay, of the primary colors. I'll circle the primary colors so that I can remember that those are primaries. Then I'm going to go over yellow, green, because I know that we're moving over to the blue, and then green, and then blue, green, and then blue. And here we go. Now I could see that we have a triangle right here, okay? Right there is a triangle of primary colors. I've got blue, yellow, and red. So it looks right. I'm on the right track. I'm gonna keep going. So now I'm coming into my purples, right? Now we've got two words to describe these, right? We've got blue purple, which is also indigo. So I'll just put I down there in a box. And then over here I have red purple, or violet. So I'll put the V in a box. And then I'm just going to put P for purple. And purple is just a generic term for a mix of blue and red. But I have everything together here. I've got my primary colors, which are blue, yellow, and red. And I've got my secondary colors, green, orange, and purple. I've got it all laid out. It's all ready for me to go. And in the next class, you guys are going to actually blend your primary colors in order to get all of these colors on your color wheel. And you're also going to draw your tree, okay? So, all right, I'll give you instruction on how to do that in the next video, all right? But here we go, we have our basic beginning of a tree. Right now, what I want you guys to do is I want you to discuss what I've gone over here with you, and I want you to decide where are the shapes that we found and where are the angles, if you can see angles that reflect, okay? So if we look at our organizer, which you're gonna get right now, you're going to have a group. So you're going to name the people in your group. So you put, let's see, if I'm in your group, you put Mr. Wilcox. And then let's say I have Cameron and Kimani. I'll put those names in there. Okay, now, what shapes can we find in the color wheel? I want you to discuss that. What shapes do you find? Do you see any shapes that emerge in the color wheel? What is the order of the colors, and does it follow any other color pattern, right? So I want you to write the order of the colors and then decide what are the color patterns, okay? And then I want you to identify the angle opposite of what we show here in this example here, okay? And so if that's 30 degrees, what would that be? And I'm not saying that that's 30 degrees. It's nowhere near 30 degrees, but let's say it's 30 degrees. What would that be and why? And we want to pay close attention to these lines. See how those lines go through? So if a line crosses another, it forms an angle. And on the opposite side, what should that angle be? And we'll talk about that in class. And then we're going to identify the angle opposite and its degrees, okay? So we're going to identify that. We're going to say this definitely is this number of degrees. Then we're going to explain why. Because really, I'll give you a hint. On the opposite side of any angle, if the lines are straight and they cross over each other, if they intersect like this, then those angles should be congruent. So at this level of your mathematical education, scaffolding up from what you know what congruent means. If two intersecting lines cross and continue to go in a straight line, then the opposite angle formed by the intersecting lines should be congruent. Okay, so that's your big hint. Now let's enjoy some class talk among your group. I want you to listen to me, and you're going to turn to your neighbor and start discussing this and filling these things in together when I say to go. All right, thanks guys. Good luck.